Hi guys, welcome back to the Mina Does Art Stuff YouTube channel. My name is Mina and on this channel we do art stuff. Today's video is going to be my Christmas art supplies haul, which I'm kind of surprised I'm even doing, to be honest, because I didn't really ask for any art supplies from anybody. However, a couple of sneaky family members managed to track down my Amazon wish list, which isn't so much it's not something I've shared with anybody for a long time, because I kind of use it as a list of things that I'm keeping track of for prices and things like that. It's not necessarily that everything on that list is something I want. It's just things I'm keeping an eye on, if that makes sense. It's less of a wish list, more of a just keep an eye on these things list. But as it happened, the people who managed to track it down purchased the things that I probably would have purchased myself eventually. So thankfully there was no issues with the things that were purchased from that list, and yeah, I'm actually really happy with everything that I got. So it was definitely a surprise. There are a few other art things that I was fully expecting because I ordered them for myself and gave them to my husband to wrap up for me. So my husband and I do stockings for each other each year. But as is usually the case, because he is the main, like he works full time and I don't, I end up having to do all the stocking shopping and end up buying my own stocking stuffers, which seems a bit silly, but anyway. And then I also purchased my own gift from the children and gave that to him to wrap up. So I will show you all of that. I don't particularly mind, and I've always said to my husband, I'm one of those people where I would much rather get exactly what I asked for and not have it be a surprise than be surprised with something that I don't want and or will not use. So that's kind of always been my philosophy with gift giving, is like I would rather ask the recipient what they want and get them the thing they actually want, rather than taking a guess at it and spending money on something they don't need, don't want, won't use, etc. So and or gift cards. You can never go wrong with a gift card. I know it doesn't seem particularly personal or particularly creative or fun or anything like that to open a gift card on Christmas Day or on your birthday, but quite frankly, because you know I have very particular wants and needs with regards to art supplies or other things that I want in my life, it's hard for someone who's not in that sort of arena of like things. Like if someone who wants to buy me something is not an artist and doesn't understand art supplies, they're not going to know what to go for. They're not going to understand artist quality versus student quality versus craft quality and stuff like that. They're not going to necessarily get the difference, which is absolutely fine, because that's not their interest, that's not their realm of interest. So I'd much rather someone like that just give me a gift card so I can then go and get what I want when I want it, rather than anything else. Anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, but just a general thoughts on my philosophy of gift giving, especially for someone like me who's a bit fussy with stuff sometimes. I'm not super fussy, but I can be fussy, so it's just one of those things. It's why I never subscribe to mystery art supply boxes, because there are just some art supplies I have zero interest in and others I have more of an interest in. So anyway, all that to say, I do actually have a lot of other art supplies to share as well, other than just stuff I got at Christmas. I got, going back to gift cards, I got a lot of gift cards for my birthday and ended up purchasing a bunch of stuff around my birthday, shortly after, around Black Friday, and I think there was like another Prime Day thing in October on Amazon. So there's a bunch of stuff that I've ordered that I haven't used yet. I've just set it aside. I keep meaning to sit down and do videos for these things, but as I've mentioned before, I don't have a lot of time for video filming, and I kind of want to do these hauls during daylight hours so get slightly better lighting, and we're in the depths of winter, so we have very limited daylight hours. And I have two young children at the moment, so yeah, timing for these things is not always perfect, and I don't always have the time to do it. So what I'm probably going to end up doing with the other art supplies I have, I might split it up into smaller haul videos rather than doing one massive haul video that will take forever to film and to edit and to upload, etc. I might break it down into smaller subcategories, so it might be like a haul for surfaces like papers and stuff, and a haul for paints, and a haul for like other miscellaneous items, etc. That might just make it a little bit more manageable for filming and uploading and stuff like that. So stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot coming your way. And most of it was purchased last year. So actually all of it was purchased last year. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so today we're going to start with just the stuff I got for Christmas in Christmas 2022. Okay, first of all, sorry if there was some camera shake before. I always try and have the tripod set up so it's not actually touching my table. So when I move the table, if the table like shakes as I'm talking and stuff like that, the tripod doesn't shake, but I think it was touching the table in that first section. So apologies for any camera shake. Hopefully I have fixed that now. But yes, in front of me I have the rather sizable stack of art supplies I was not expecting to get for Christmas. So yeah, some of them I've already swatched out. So I have my Royal Talent sketchbook here to show you the swatches I've already done, and a couple of things I haven't swatched out. So if I have time at the end of the video, I will swatch them out for you. And there are some things that I definitely won't be swatching in this video because I'm planning on doing a dedicated video for it. So let's jump into it. Where should we begin? Okay, I'm just going to work through this stack here. So this was stuff these first few items were things I'd actually requested. So essentially my husband and I, we share an Amazon account because, you know, that just makes sense. And so I just put a few things in the cart and I told him, can you buy these for my stocking if you don't have any other ideas? Here's some, I've just popped some ideas in the Amazon cart for you. And he went ahead and I guess purchased some of them. So the first thing is a set of masking tapes. And I will try where I can link everything below for you guys. So this is a set. You have 2 in the, I think this is a 1/2 inch size, then 2 in the 1/4 inch size. Jeez, if I can get them apart. They're kind of stuck together. There we go. 2 in the 1/4 inch size. And then there's, I can get this to focus in a second. And then 2, I think that's going to be 1/8 of an inch size. So these will be really nice, especially the thinner ones will be really nice for like swatches or other things where you just want to have, you know, nice crisp lines. So these will be really handy. And there's like a good amount on each roll, which is nice. And I believe this wasn't particularly expensive either. Also, apologies for rustling and stuff. This is a haul video, so there's going to be a certain amount of like rustly sounds. So I'm just warning you up front. Next up is a Sailor Fude brush pen. I think this is the 55-degree nib based on the drawing at the top there. What is up with the focus today? There we go. So I haven't opened this yet. I don't even know if it comes with a cartridge or not. If not, I think I have some spare cartridges. So it just has the bent tip. There we go. That bent tip, so you can get some really interesting sketchy lines with it when drawing. I've seen a few artists use this particular pen. I was always really interested in it. Okay, it comes with a cartridge, so that's great. We can test that out later as well and see how that works. So this is one we will definitely try out. Then I have a selection of Blackwing pencils. I did get a couple, which is in the other pile of stuff to show you, haul, when we went on our trip to the Cotswolds earlier this year for half term. And I've always wanted to get some Blackwing pencils. However, I've found it really hard to find somewhere online that sells them individually rather than in a box of 12. I don't want 12 of the same pencil. I just wanted 1 or 2 of each type of pencil that they do, just so I could try them out and see what I think of them. Anyway, so my husband got me sort of like a variety pack. I had 2, the 2 that I've already bought are the matte variety. So then he also got me a variety pack, 1 of each type essentially. I think it was an Etsy seller that was selling these. So if I find it, I will link it. If not, I won't be able to link it then. But there's the Blackwing 602, which I think is like the original type. Then we have the Blackwing Pearl, the Blackwing Matte, and then the Blackwing Natural. So I'll sharpen these up and we can check out the differences between them. I also have 2 additional 602 Blackwing pencils as well. And like I said, the two I'd bought previously were the matte, so I might give one each of the 602 and the matte to my husband so he can play around with those as well. He also really enjoys stationery. And then my brother, he's one of the ones who got sneaky and found my Amazon wish list, got me a few items actually, but two of them are here. So he got me the Arteza, it says blossomy tones, but they're the pastel colours, pastel gouache colours. So, ow, oh, ouchie, sorry, that hurt. Let me just open this up. So the range of 12 colours. I might swatch these out later if I have a little bit of time at the end of the video, or else these will be in their own video. So the colours you get in this set is pastel lemon yellow, pastel cheese puff, pastel peach, pastel coral, pastel petal pink, pastel lollipop pink, pastel lavender, pastel periwinkle, pastel dusty blue, pastel sky blue, pastel ice mint, pastel honeydew. It looks like a nice array of colours that will complement other gouache colours. It's just more of a convenience set of gouache colours, I guess, so you don't have to mix your own pastels. And then the other one he got, which was on my list, was the Talons Designer Gouache. This was one of the ones that I probably wouldn't have gotten, but I'm not mad that I got it as a gift. You know, it's one of those things that I probably wouldn't have bought for myself, but someone else buying it for me, more than happy to have this set. So this is the Royal Talons Designer Gouache, Extra Fine Gouache set. So this is their mixing set. So this comes with 8 colours. You get white, oh there we go, you get yellow, lemon yellow, permanent rose magenta, vermilion, light blue cyan, ultramarine deep and black intense. And they come in large 20ml tubes, so yeah, fairly large tubes. And this is a mixing set. As you can probably tell, you've got your split primaries, you've got 3 cool, 3 warm primaries, and then a white and a black for mixing. So that'll be fun to play with. I'll definitely do maybe some colour mixing and swatching video for that one. And it comes with this leaflet. So basically it's got some information about the brand and some colour mixing and how to, and all that sort of stuff. So a mini colour mixing course in here. So just talking about the different things you can do with it, which I think is really great for someone who might be new to it. It's nice that they include that information with the gouache. And then back to things that Perry, my husband, got me. This was another thing I added on the Amazon list randomly. And so I've been really into more mixed media stuff this year. I know I haven't filmed a lot about it, but it's definitely something I'll be talking more about next year. But this was something I wanted to get with that in mind. And that is these 2 sort of silicone paint brushes almost. So Princeton do these brushes. Princeton's an American brand. So over here in the UK, it's fairly expensive to get them. And they cost quite a lot, but it's basically like any old brush, but instead of bristles, the tip is just a silicone sort of spatula type tip. So it's good for like spreading paint, like acrylics and stuff, without having to, you know, get the paint all like smushed up into bristles. And makes cleaning and switching between colors a lot easier. And it's just another way to add texture. So this is the 1-inch size, I believe. Let me check. I'm pretty sure I got a 1-inch. This is, yeah, so this is a, no, it's just under 1 inch, but it's roughly a 1-inch. And this one is just under 2 inches. So yeah, it's roughly a 1-inch and a 2-inch size of these brushes. Again, I will try and remember to link these down below. It's a bit dusty. But yeah, I can imagine these. I've seen Irit Landgraf, she uses these a lot in her mixed media sort of slash acrylic work and stuff, and I think it would be really quite fun. It's got a nice sort of flexible edge. You can get a nice tapered edge there. So I can imagine you can get some really nice mark making with these brushes. So that'll be fun to play around with. I might use these later to try them out. Then I have this set of 3 MD notebook lights. It's A5, you get a 3-pack, and I just love the Midori paper, and I don't have any notebooks with this paper in it. So I thought these 3 smaller notebooks would be really handy. I could either use one for like each for like a specific project, or in my other work, in my knitting business work, that I use lots of notebooks in my knitting work for tracking projects, designs that I'm working on, taking notes on designs that I'd later incorporate into the pattern, etc. So I use notebooks a lot in my other business, well, in my main business that I run. So notebooks are always something I use, and I love this paper. Let's open it up and have a look at the paper. It's a nice blank cover, and it's a little embossed bit that says MD paper on it, made in Japan. So it's very similar, I believe, to like the Tomoe River style paper. It's really thin, you can see my fingers through it, but it's really beautiful for writing on, and even actually for painting on. This Japanese paper takes paint in a very specific way. It's very different to regular non-watercolor paper, which I think can be really fun to also play with. So that'll be fun. Then I also got this notebook called New York, the afternoon journal, or l'après-midi, which I believe means the afternoon journal. Yeah, afternoon. Yeah, so it's really nice. I love New York. We lived in New York for a while. My older daughter was born in New York, so I have a real close affinity for the city, and just really love the artwork in it, and it's all done in watercolor as well. And so the artwork is dotted throughout the notebook on the different pages, and I just thought it'd be really cute using this as like a travel journal for when I used to keep a travel journal every time we went away somewhere, or I went away somewhere. I would keep like a little diary of what we did, and you know, stick in little bits and like sort of scrapbook and stuff like that while I was away. So I'm thinking I might do that again with this one. I am actually going back to New York in February, which is really exciting. I'm going to be teaching at a knitting festival in New York, so I'm really excited about that. I've not been to New York to teach since January 2020, before everything hit the fan, shall we say. I did actually go back to New York last winter. In December of last year we went as a family, while I was like early days pregnant, so that was quite a rough trip. Morning sickness was not my friend, but it was really fun to take my older daughter back to see where she was born and where we used to live and stuff like that. But yeah, so I haven't been back to teach, and this will be like my first proper thing going back teaching in person since before the pandemic, so that's really exciting. And then this is another notebook my husband got me. It says projects on the front. Again, I'm pretty sure he bought this with the idea that I would use it for my knitting work in my knitting business. It's just dot grid paper, which I absolutely love. Out of all my favorite sort of paper types like that you could give me, that I could get, absolutely my number one would be dot grid, and second, depending on the paper quality, would be blank. A blank paper I could also use for a sketchbook or something, depending, like I said, on the paper quality. But otherwise, for writing and note taking, I love dot grid. I feel like it's just a bit cleaner. I also don't like the standard line width on regular ruled paper. I much prefer the narrower dot grid 5mm spacing. Apologies if you can hear my baby crying in the background. She's absolutely fine. My husband's with her. I think it's nap time. Yeah, it looks like it's nap time. So he's apologies for any screaming and crying in the background. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. So then another thing that I got, and this was definitely a surprise, my mother-in-law, I believe, found my Amazon wish list, and she got me these 2 things from it. So it's the Reeves 18 gouache set, which I have already swatched out, so I'll show you that in a second, and this set of 5 canvas panels, 100% cotton, rough, I think it's 5x7, yeah, 5x7, 18 by 13 centimeters, 5 pieces, again for like acrylic mixed media type work, so those will be quite useful. I'll quickly show you the swatches I've done already for the Reeves paints. So this gouache set is more of a student quality gouache, which is absolutely fine. So here you can see these are the colors, and this isn't like the best paper for gouache or watercolors. It's the Talents Art Creations sketchbook. It's thin paper. It's not specifically meant for water-based media, so if it looks a bit streaky and stuff, like I said, it's just probably not the best paper to be swatching on, but it's what I had at hand at the time. So this is 16 of the colors, and then I've got the, I think it's burnt umber and the ivory black on this side here. Okay, and then the other thing that my brother got me was this set, the Artex acrylic marker set of 32, which again I have swatched out, and you can see all the colors here. I did go ahead and rearrange the ordered colors in the box because they came all jumbled up in a different order. And this is the set that has the brush tip on one end. So I'll try and get them out for you. So this really goes in that sort of order, but hey, you get it, you get the idea. So the end with the thicker, if I can get one of these out, with the thicker colour end is the brush tip. And so these pens don't need any priming at all, which is great. And the other end is the bullet nib, like fine tip. And yeah, they work really great. You don't have, like I say, you don't have to prime them. The only thing about them, and because I saw the review by Lindsay Frugal Crafter, is that they're not really truly acrylic paints. They act, as she said, more like gouache. Acrylic markers, typically once they're dry, that's it, you can't reactivate them. But with these ones, even after they were dry, I was able to reactivate them a little bit. And again, I think on different paper you might be able to reactivate them more. So I think the advantage with that is if you're colouring with these on a piece and you want to blend some colours together, you could probably use a damp paintbrush or you know, a bit of water and a paintbrush and actually blend the colours together that way, which I think opens up a lot of other opportunities for how you can use these paints, which I'm quite excited about. How you can use these pens, I mean. And then the last thing my brother got me, which was definitely the thing I was most excited about, because I've always wanted to get one of these but could never justify the cost of it. Sorry, you can see my reflection in it. It's the A3 size Moleskine art watercolor sketchbook. I love the A3 size. I like the idea that I could paint big, really large, sort of expressive paintings in here, doing stuff that's maybe a little bit more abstract or whatever. Like, I have no idea, but I know I'm going to have lots of fun with this. It's 200 GSM, £135, watercolor notebook. I think they claim that this paper has, it claims it has 25% cotton in it, so I'm not entirely sure. Cold pressed on both sides, acid free. It's 11 3/4 by 16.5 inches, or 29.7 by 42 centimeters. So it's huge. Like I said, it's A3 size. You get 60 pages. I think that's 30 sheets, but 60 sides, if I'm not mistaken. Haven't opened it up to check, but yes, I'm really excited to do something with this at some point. And finally, the thing that is still in its Christmas wrapping paper is the gift from my children to me, and I will swatch these in a different video just because there's a lot of them, and I have a few others in my collection already that I want to like swatch my entire collection together. So it's the Le Franc Bourgeois Flash emulsion vinyl paints. And I got these from a seller on eBay, and I believe it's the Elephant Art Company, I think they're called. I will link them below. It's definitely the cheapest place I have found these paints. They sell them in the tubes as well as the little jars, and they have like an ongoing promotion. I believe they're based in the UK. They have an ongoing promotion where if you buy 4 or more tubes, you get 30% off. So it makes them really affordable, and in the run up to Christmas some of them were already on sale as well, so there's even more of a discount. Definitely worth checking them out if you're interested in these paints, because they're a really good price. Definitely better than I found anywhere else. So the colours that I got are white, magenta, going in no particular order here, mineral violet, grey green, and they also come really well packaged, taped around the edge so there's no paint leakage. Still the green, which is like a green gold. Then we have turquoise blue, terra vert light, so earth green light, Sahara yellow, Prussian blue, and chromium oxide green. And the colours I already have in small tubes, it came in like a small set, is Japanese yellow light, ruby red, black, ultramarine blue, yellow ochre. And then in the larger tubes I also have carmine red, I think this was smoke blue, Veronese green, which is like a light minty colour, and then Verdaccio, which is like one of my favourite green, sort of olivey green shades. So lots of colours, and that's why I'm going to swatch all of these out in a separate video.